he loves.
Isn't that messed up?
Hey!
What's
What a
up?
show today.
Whew.
Whew, I need a break.
Work. No, don't even try it. You were Mr. Popular today.
I was not.
Yes, he was.
It was like half
y'all
and half.
left me. Y'all strong people left me.
No, it was like half and half.
No, it was not.
So here was the question we had. If you watched Overtime yesterday,
He was tripping.
I don't even know. Well,
Tripping.
probably. Yeah, I don't even know how we quite got to this.
Yeah,
but we
forgot.
stumbled into a discussion with Dave yesterday about women asking their husbands if they think another woman's beautiful. And Dave and I, like Sarah was laughing at home. She said it was so funny
Are you serious?
hearing us all talk about it. Because Dave and I were like, you know what you do when your wife asks you that? You fake an injury.
Oh my God.
You change the subject. You jam food in your mouth.
Doesn't that make it worse? That makes it worse when y'all do that. Oh.
But so we went on the air today to bring this up because after Overtime ended yesterday, we were in this room.
For like an hour.
Oh, I think it was like an hour and a half.
Yes.
And we were talking with our station manager and with Ron and having a heated debate about ultimately not should the question be asked. Josh and I, our station manager, really were trying to have you help us understand why do you need to ask this question in the first place? I know part of your defense is it's a free country. We should be able to ask whatever we want if we trust each other.
That's
I get
not
that. But
wow,
why? I
right.
mean, examine them. Why do you need to know the answer to that question? What good is it going to do anyone to know whether her husband finds another woman attractive?
And what I don't like is that all women are treated the same, like we all think the same, have the same insecurities, and all marriages are the same. That's what I don't understand. It's like,
that.
dude, can we treat this question?
I never said that.
That's the way
I
you're
never said
approaching it.
I don't think that. I never said that.
Wow, Ryan.
But
You're not
what I'd
me,
love to
Ryan.
hear is we are exhausted from this one. It was interesting. A lot of different angles and disagreements. Phone lines were locked up all morning. Text messages flowing in all morning. We missed a lot of them because we just couldn't get to them all. What's your take on this particular issue? Would love to hear it. Maybe even hear what you thought about how the show went in terms of how we handled this. Because somebody said, that I sounded, what'd she say, sounded arrogant and something? I don't want to sound like that. She don't even listen to me. Look at this. See what I put up with? I'm arrogant.
We're still getting texts. That's crazy.
But, right, I don't want to come across sounding, you and I have strong opinions, but we're still friends. It's cool.
Oh, no, yeah, we're fine.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Brian
Did we lose our
Yoder.
connection?
Seriously? Oh, no. I just haven't gotten there. I'm sorry, y'all. We're going to look
No, I think we lost the connection somehow. Supposed to put the
Brian,
password in?
Oh, no, that's not. That's today.
That's today. We're still
Oh
going?
my gosh, he's so weird, guys. He does this all the time. He's turning 41 in like a month. So he's like forgetting stuff. Look, see?
Well, I don't know what to say. My screen's not working.
Wow, Brian.
My screen's not working.
So, hi, Callie, Kathy. She says, I think you both are more on the same page than you think. That happens often, by the way. Mike says, happy Friday. Miranda says, good morning. Today's convo is so good and so convincing. And Mike says, that's it. Like everything in relationships, you should know the other person so you adjust to their personality. Thank you. Hello. Good morning, Stephanie. I see and hear y'all.
Okay, so it's still working. I wish I could show you this, but I can't. My control panel here is just not working. So we're just going to believe we're still going.
So, what do you think? Good day. What do you agree with Kathy saying we're on the same page more than we think?
No, I don't think we are, though.
Okay. Betty, recap. Why
don't you give her the recap?
Hola, Sarah from Ecuador. So we are continuing follow-up Friday, and we were talking about why do women ask their husbands if another woman is pretty? Rachel says, I think it's interesting that there are many couples who can have this conversation and it doesn't have to be hurtful. We can accept that others are more attractive, thank you, and sometimes admit we are attracted to other things, concepts of beauty. We use it as a check-in. Where's your heart and mind? And am I loving you well? Do we need accountability in some area, etc.? Thank you. I just am so uncomfortable with the thought that there's a conversation I can't have with my husband. That's
She's
so
uncomfortable with that people have a marriage different than hers. That's what she's uncomfortable with, it sounds like.
Roseanne in the house, she said, I can't believe you guys are still talking about this and that Brian has not yet seen the light. Yeah, Roseanne.
Well, yeah. There's light
Eva,
on.
where were y'all? Why don't y'all? Eva says, good morning, I agree with Janelle. I just went natural and have no clue what to do with short curly hair. I googled photos of women with short curly styles and let my husband choose from the ones I think look great. Thank you. Rob would love your point, like your viewpoint. Is it okay? Len thinks
Rob
Brian
usually agrees with you.
No.
That's why you're asking Rob.
Rob, listen.
We know you always agree with Janelle. Go ahead.
I've been married 20 years, and I can ask Len while we're watching the Super Bowl, oh, look, Len, you think Shakira looks good? And he'll be like, yeah or no or whatever. He thinks I'm crazy. And when
when
I talked to Len about it yesterday, he's like, I don't see what's the big deal. We're just talking.
And my question is, why do you need to ask that? Why do you need to know the answer to that
I know
question?
why I'm asking that. I know why y'all are asking that. I know why I'm asking.
Why do you even need to know? There's no good can come of this.
Thank you, y'all. Callie says, I believe if you're secure in your marriage and relationship, then it's fine to talk about this. Thank you. It's all about your marriage. You got to know your marriage. Mike says, Brian, I'm like you as far as not caring too often about styles, hair, makeup. You need help with that. But there is a point, he says, that I guess, I don't know, he'll finish his thought. But go ahead, you were struggling.
Maybe somebody here can help me with this. It drives Sarah bonkers. Like, she might use this question of, hey, Brian, what do you think? You like that lady's hair? She look pretty with that hair, that hairstyle? I'll be like, I'll say, I don't know. Because I just don't care. And I really only have eyes for my wife. I'm not playing some stupid game. But then she wants me to have an opinion about a hairstyle, and I just don't. I don't have an opinion. I like her hair when it's long, short, curly, straight, kind of curly, kind of straight. I like them all. If she gets annoyed with me, and you think it's annoying that I don't have an opinion about hairstyle,
that would annoy me.
What am I supposed to do?
I'm married to somebody of the whole opposite, and that can get annoying. But I'm very clear on if I want to surprise him and be like, oh, I'm gonna just make him be like, wow, you look amazing. I know. And so I can understand why Sarah would be like, wow, so I can come down in sweats and chop my hair off, and you're saying either way doesn't matter. It feels dismissive to me. And I know that's not how you're meaning it.
Keep in mind, like, I will look at my wife when she does something new with her hair. I'll go like, oh, wow, that's really cute. I like that. I'll tell her I like it. But if she presses me on my favorite, I don't have one. And what I want...
Sandy!
What?
I am struggling today. Go ahead. No, please go. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
That's fine. Go ahead.
No.
I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, Brian, I'm sorry.
No, really.
I was struggling today this morning because everybody's thinking my marriage is like, oh, you're all in danger. Like, somebody texted in and was like...
Nobody thinks that.
Oh, my gosh.
Who thinks that?
People will like, you're tempting your husband. Oh, my gosh. Look at this text. Oh, my goodness. Somebody says, we don't always know when we're doing something hurtful to ourselves or our marriage or other relationship, but God does, so ask him. And so it's just been the thing of like, yo, we're doing fine, but then I keep hearing, no, y'all, that's so dangerous, so dangerous. So I appreciate that some people can see and be like, no, that actually makes sense for some marriages. Sandy says, right is all about your marriage. You go, Janelle. Thank you. I needed that this morning. But you want to talk about
what does Mark say? I want to know.
Okay.
He's got a nice comment here.
Mark says, so I've been listening to the entire conversation and sort of a whole different take in Brian's defense. From a male, he doesn't need defense this morning.
Yes, I do.
From
Thank you,
a
Mark.
male's perspective, I would be much more upset with the thought that my loyalty is being questioned. Ideally, not always in Christian relationships, there shouldn't be that much reason to wonder if you're no longer desired. If I'm with you, I'm not leaving for a number of reasons.
But and that draws right to my thing. It's like, what in the world? Why do you need to know this? Like, why? Don't ask me this question. This is ridiculous.
It's not about loyalty with Lynn. We're just talking about the Shakira look good. And I appreciate that he knows that I am strong and mature enough to handle the response.
So, okay, let me ask you a question then.
I am not that insecure that I would think, oh, you need to tell me that I'm more beautiful than Shakira for me not to feel threatened. I'm okay with that because he knows me. Now, if I've told him, babe, I can't handle these conversations, then in the same way, I think out of respect, he should respect that.
So then what do you do in a marriage, Janelle, when the woman feels like you do and the guy does not want to answer that question?
Then don't. I mean, good.
Well, wouldn't you worry that he doesn't trust you and think that you can handle it?
No, I mean...
Why not? Because you're saying the reason that you do is because he knows that you can handle it. But what if a man does not want to even entertain that question and thinks it's not a helpful question to ask?
Then you're married to that man, so you need to deal with that and let him be. That's why I say it's all about your relationship and your spouse.
Okay.
Roseanne says it's one thing to have a spouse that's flirtatious and that's not okay, but there's a difference between appreciating beauty of another. Do we really think that our husbands or our wives are blind? Amen. Because they're married to us. She gets annoyed with me personally. I think that if we're that insecure, we really need to talk to someone and work it out. Amen. Thank you. That's my point. You ain't blind. I know you see stuff, and I'm your friend, and we can talk about it, and we could be okay.
But see,
now you can't
I don't
sit there
wanna
and be
talk
like,
about
"Ooh,
it.
look at Shakira." Then don't.
I don't want to talk about
Then
it.
don't. But don't tell other marriages you need to stop because
I'm
the
not.
Bible says
You're telling
yes, you
other
did.
marriages.
Oh,
You're,
my
you're
goodness.
telling other marriages that really they're healthy if you can handle this conversation.
Thank you, Roseanne. She does says maybe you guys are overthinking this just a little bit.
No,
I think you
I
gotta
think the
to
message
each
that
his
you may
own.
be sending to people, Janelle, my good friend, is that if you truly trust each other, you can handle this, and if you don't, you're not quite as good as us at being married.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So then clarify that.
I've said over and over again, I said you got to get to know your spouse and your marriage. I've even pointed out some marriages have pasts, things have happened in the past that make it where they can't have these kind of conversations. You got to know your spouse. Kind of like I have a son who's artistic and he's on stage a lot. And he's very big about you got to know your audience. That's what I'm saying. Know your spouse. And so for me to define myself based off of what other women can handle is just crazy. Sheila says, Brian, Janelle, I think I particularly disagree with you because you come across to me as saying that I'm insecure if I don't want to have this conversation.
That's what I was trying to say. That's what I think it's sending, is that your marriage is better because
you're
you can handle
saying
it.
that. You're saying women. Why are you asking that? You're asking that
you're
because
not, but you're not saying
insecure.
That. Like you're not going to go home saying, "Wow, Brian is insecure and he really needs to have more faith." And his marriage really is in trouble because he doesn't want to answer that question. You're not thinking that.
Okay, Sheila,
right? You're not thinking that.
Sheila, what I am thinking is the reason I can handle it in my marriage because I feel secure in my relationship and I'm fine with the answer.
But you can be equally secure in someone's relationship and not have that discussion.
Yes. I think you need to be in your marriage and set your rules. It was a little disturbing during the show when people started quoting scripture and spiritualizing it and making it a right or wrong. And what I kept saying is marriages are different, people are different, pasts are different. You need to treat each other in the uniqueness that you are. God forbid if Len dies and I marry another man, maybe I can't have that kind of relationship for whatever reason. Maybe his delivery is not as great, whatever. I think it's
and that wouldn't cause you to worry.
Person.
That wouldn't cause you to worry.
It depends, because some people said, well, he has a wandering eye, or he's addicted to pornography. So it depends on your reason. See what I'm saying?
Because the way you're communicating, it would seem like if there was some other guy you married eventually and he didn't like this conversation, you would go, "What? You don't think I'm secure? I can handle this. Why don't you answer me?"
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be hurtful and destructive?
Travis says, if I asked my wife if Brian is a good-looking dude or not, she would definitely answer, and I'd be okay with it. She has always been open enough with me from the beginning about beauty and style. It's about how much weight we're putting on the question. Is there a motive behind it, or do we both just like a style or a look? I'm not asking her, and she's not asking me if I'm being lustful. That's all it is.
I have two responses, Travis. Number one, your wife will think I'm attractive, obviously.
Oh, wow. Ooh, look at you. Whoa.
Number
she's
two.
not supposed to.
Number two, you put that, I think you're absolutely right. That's why I thought the appropriate question is, why do you need to ask this? And if you can answer that like Janelle, go ahead, have a fun time.
That's not what you're saying during the show.
But if you can't, if you have any ulterior motive.
You said people will change, and then you're going to use that in the past.
Well, I think you're taking a risk. Kimash agrees with me on this. Can you read Kimash's text?
I'm okay with Kimash's.
Could you read Kimash's text? She's not here.
No,
so we got to speak for her.
I think a lot of women aren't being honest. When things shift in relationships, they begin to think about things said in the past and start overthinking things. It could become a tool the enemy uses later to cause insecurities and problems.
Do you think that that's true?
Yeah, that could be true.
So, therefore, having the discussion is a risk. Because if you think Kimasha is right on this, that you don't know what you're going to feel like in 15 years, and suddenly something that Len did comment about another woman you'll think about it, why is it worth the risk now then? Knowing it's a risk.
So then you're agreeing. You're not saying, oh no, every relationship handle it wherever. You're saying there is a right and wrong.
No, I'm saying that there's a risk
Okay.
that you could be fine with it now, but maybe not later. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, that's true.
So why take the risk now?
Because we're fine. Like in our marriage, we're good. Like
So it's
a
worth
risk.
it to you if it could cause
It's a
division
risk
later.
we're willing to take because of
There you go.
who I am.
There you go.
For example, I'm 20 years into this, so I don't look the way I did when I was in college. So even though I know what attracted Len, or you know, I'm not feeling insecure about it. I just don't understand. Carol says Janelle is giving very good advice. I don't think she's saying that you're insecure in your relationship if you can't have this discussion. Everyone is different. But if a husband or wife is always comparing themselves to others, then that couple needs to talk to each other why they're doing this, and they need to get help.
And I'm glad Carol brought that up. And the reason I asked that question earlier is I don't want people to think that my friend Janelle is implying that her marriage is better than yours, because I know you're not implying that.
No, I think every
She would
marriage
never
is
imply
different.
that.
No.
And we are, even though we disagree on this because she's wrong, we are on the same team. Like I got your back.
Yeah.
When it gets down to it, she can be wrong about this, but I still have her back.
What I don't
And I don't want
like
her
is
to look
actually
crazy.
the opposite. What I keep saying is, you're not married to Len, so why would you tell me no? You can't have that kind of conversation with Len. Y'all don't know. People are different. Marriages are different. So a woman could tell me, well, once you start having kids, you don't know how you're gonna feel. Well, I've had 6 kids. My body has changed, and I'm fine. I'm okay. Why? Because there are other things I'm bringing to the table. Because I have a husband that affirms me on how I look today, and
Because he's a great husband.
and when we'll cross that bridge. If I start having insecurities, then because of the kind of husband he is, I know I will be affirmed at that moment. So
But see, this is
I just
why
don't like making rules for all couples. People are different.
But see, Sheila's comment that was just up there a second ago. You were looking
About
at,
yeah.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to be sure you clarified that is because I think this is so important when people disagree on something, that we could draw conclusions that don't exist.
Yeah.
And we can even come across, when we're sharing our point that's a valid point, that could have just a bad angle to it. And Sheila's comments are one of the good reasons I want to be sure we're clear on this, because I don't think that about you. I know that's not the truth for you.
Roseanne says, if Janelle asks Len, do you think she's attractive? Do you like her hair or whatever? At every woman they see, then something would be wrong. Whatever people's views may be. Everybody's marriage is different, and Janelle and Brian, you guys are both right. Some things are off limits in certain relationships. There are couples who are not capable of having single friends, for example, because it affects their rapport. That's not something to be judged. It's just different for certain relationships. Yeah. Exactly. For example, I don't do that. I have friends who have friends outside of their marriage of opposite sex. We don't do that in our marriage. Some people could look at us and be like, why are you so insecure? We just don't do that. We've expressed that to each other. I don't tell my husband, well, that's because you're insecure. He doesn't tell me it's because we're insecure. It's just something we don't do. Do you see? And so can you imagine Christian couples telling people, well, no, this is the way you should navigate that? Y'all don't know us, so why are we telling people how to navigate conversations, motives?
No, but what I think is good about this is that the conversation must be had. Because I think early in marriage you don't have the maturity enough as a couple to even necessarily recognize the danger.
Yeah.
Or know that you have a marriage that can handle that.
Yeah.
And you could have months, dare I say, Janelle, years of pain of men answering that question and hurting their wives.
Yeah.
And wives really shouldn't just ask the question.
Yeah.
But they don't know yet. It's not because they're stupid. It's because they haven't really figured this out yet.
Yeah.
And dug deeper in the issue, right?
So I've earned my position, right? It's 20 years, 23 years.
Well, but I bet there's couples after 20 years that haven't talked about it.
Right. Well, I know where we're at.
I mean, you got to talk about this. You got to know how your spouse feels.
Possible. Because I keep saying I know where we're at. I'm saying we prove it's possible. Even if it's 3 people out of 1,000, we could say, well, it's possible. Some marriages can handle.
It's not necessarily ideal, but it's possible.
I don't know if it's ideal. Who determines what ideal is?
I agree.
Kat says, I agree with both Brian and Janelle. Right, marriages are different, and we outsiders don't know what they have or don't have.
I want to mention Travis's follow-up, because Travis was the one who said if he asked his wife if I'm attractive, and I said, number one, she would. Did you see his comment?
Yeah,
what did he say?
I knew Brian was going to say that.
Yeah, predictable.
Travis says he has 8 years with his wife. Thank you, Rob. Rob says,
there we go.
I actually sent in the text to show stating to each his own. I admit I used to feel like Brian, don't ask me a question that you may not be able to handle the answer. On a slightly different level, my wife, who is a great cook, will ask me, did you like the meal we had at a friend's house? And she may or may not try to make that meal. Nonetheless, she knows I am not going to show up at that person's home next Sunday, nor will she consider herself less of a cook. There are some women who will never ride alone with a man to avoid the appearance of being with him to others or possible temptation. That is their choice. As for me and my house, we can handle this particular form of expression. Lastly, Brian, I do often side with you. I just choose to let you defend your point because I know you're great at it.
Oh, Rob. Oh, buddy. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Rob said we can screenshot that. Usually he agrees with me. Take that to the bank and cash it on payday.
Richard is concerned. He said, please don't fall out with each other over this.
Who? Us?
Yeah.
You go ahead and answer that.
No, it is not that deep. Len's laughing at Brian. I go home and say, can you believe? We just laugh. No, we respect each other very much. And the show is what it is because we're so different. Like, I'm right and he's wrong.
And we want to do
right?
this.
Go ahead.
But no, I mean, part of our, we have a lot of goals, but there's like one of my underlying hopes. It's not a primary, but it's an underlying hope for these overtime sessions and for the show, is that we can show you it's possible for two Christian people to both love Jesus desperately, want to follow him with all their heart, and disagree about an issue that feels very important and still walk away and be friends and united.
Yeah.
Like Janelle and I, we disagree on this one big time. We handle this totally differently in our marriages. And I'm going to walk away thinking that Janelle is my great friend and she has a wonderful marriage with Len.
Yeah.
And she's going to think the same about me. I texted you and we were good. I wanted to make sure we were good.
Kat has a very good point. She says, be careful. I was very secure in my marriage and confident, and I don't think I'm bad to look at, but my husband was unfaithful, and I never thought that would happen. Turns out I wasn't just due to someone else being attractive. His was an illness. I'm still confident, but I'm a little more picky.
Great point.
Travis says, love the overtime concept. This is my first time tuning in because I'm usually at work right now. Keep it up. Aww.
Thanks, Travis. Appreciate it. You're a smart man, Travis.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, but there are, I think, again, it's you defining your marriage, your lines. Sarah says, my husband and I can have this conversation easily because he has always said he loved me no matter how I look. But if I ever ask him what he wants me to cook and he names a Peruvian dish, he's from Peru, those are fighting words. Peruvian food is awesome, but usually pretty complicated, and I am not good at cooking it. Maybe as couples, we have other points of insecurity.
That's true. And I'd love for the weekend psychoanalysis for all of us to be the strange phenomena for Janelle and Len. That Len has opinions, and Janelle intentionally chooses not to do those things. How does Len like your hair?
Not on purpose. He likes long hair, so I used to wear it long, and I cut my hair.
And natural.
And natural, yeah.
And
all
so
the boys, yeah.
She never wears her hair like that. And he loves Dominican food.
Yes.
How often you cook Dominican
so he's
food?
like, how come you don't cook Dominican food? Yes, I need to do it more often.
I think it's interesting, isn't it? Psychoanalyze that.
Ooh.
Len, you come over to my place. We'll make you Dominican
food. Yeah, right.
I'm not getting the perm though.
Right.
All right, we're gonna have to get out of here, people. I think there's something wrong with that camera anyway. So we out. Have a great weekend. Share the video. Have this discussion in your marriage.
Bye.
Don't let it wreck you.
Wreck you.